Hello, everyone. Welcome to the School of Architecture, Planning, and Landscapes presentation at the U at UCalgary event. So, welcome and congratulations on your journey towards choosing and being part of the University of Calgary. We can't wait to welcome you as part of the Bachelor of Design in City Innovation program. So, to get us started today, I would like to, I'm very pleased to introduce our speaker. So, we have Alberto de Salvatierra here, who's going to be leading our session. And Alberto is the Associate Dean Undergrad and Associate Professor of Urbanism and Data in Architecture at SAPL. So he also founded and is the director of the Center for Civilization. He's the founding principal of Proxima and an alumnus of the Global Shapers Community, an initiative by the World Economic Forum based in Geneva, Switzerland. As a transdisciplinary designer and urbanist, Alberto's research agenda and professional work is organized around the pursuit of six simultaneous streams of inquiry. So it's the intersections between the city and morphology, ecology, pedagogy, technology, mythology, and civilization. So his work has been published widely and exhibited both domestically and abroad. Previously, he's been part of the Harvard Kennedy School inaugural Science, Technology, and Society program on expertise, trust, and democracy, and an invited panelist and delegate to the United Nations. Alberto is also the past recipient of the UN Sustainable Development Solution Network Local Pathways Fellowship, Cornell's Robert James Edlitz Fellowship, Harvard Library's inaugural May Crane Fellowship, and Harvard GSD's Penny White Prize. So he holds a Bachelor of Architecture from Cornell University and both a Master of Landscape Architecture and a Master of Design Studies in Urbanism, Landscape, and Ecology from Harvard University's Graduate School of Design. So we are very lucky to have Alberto with us here, and you'll get to know him very well as you kind of come through the program and are introduced. So everyone, please virtually join me in welcoming Alberto.
Alexa, thank you again so much for that wonderful introduction. Everyone, it's such a pleasure to virtually meet you. Good morning, and thank you again for joining us in this sort of cloudy day, at least here in Calgary, although in your particular geography, you're likely experiencing different weather. So why don't we get started? To continue from what Alexa has already mentioned, today we want to give you an overview of what your experience at SAPL will be like. So why don't we get started? To begin, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. The University of Calgary, located in the heart of southern Alberta, both acknowledges and pays tribute to the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7, which include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Tsuut'ina, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation within Alberta, including Nose Hill Métis District 5 and Elbow Métis District 6. So our agenda for today is to start with some welcome and introductions. We'll proceed to talk a little bit about SAPL, share program advising, BECA initiatives, resources, student experiences, and the REX challenge, which is a kind of a mandated part of this experience on the university's part. To that end, when I know that we're a design school, so I will apologize for the sprinkling of different little dinosaurs in the corners of the slides on this presentation. This is the template that we had to use as part of the university. If we didn't, I would not have chosen those graphics. But those things aside, right, this is sort of the critical thing that we're going to share. Now, I think when I started sharing, I didn't turn on the video sharing. So I'm going to stop sharing and then reshare so that the audio comes through. So I'm just going to stop sharing again and then reshare again. And then I can now share sound. All right. So we should be good to go now. All right. So for introductions, first, it's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Ha, who's our undergraduate program specialist, and Carmen Lau, who's our undergraduate student advisor. These are the two primary student advisors that you'd be dealing with and have probably already corresponded with over the last few weeks and months as you've become part of our program. We're also joined today by two student representatives, Sophia and Irem, who later on in this presentation will introduce themselves a bit more fully and share a little bit about their experience being in the BDCI program. So Sarah, Carmen, thank you for joining us, and they'll be available to answer questions at the end as well. All right, so where are we located? So if you have not heard, Sapple has recently moved to a fantastic new building called the Valentine, located on Century Gardens in downtown Calgary. So our new home at 801 7th Ave, you'll have access to 9 floors of dedicated spaces for research and design education. You'll have access to the City Lab, which connects with the community and is going to be our primary hub for engaging with industry, members of the city, and other community leaders. You will also have access to an analog and digital fabrication workshop annex. So we have an entire building dedicated to analog and digital fabrication. All our students have access to the building's atrium and plus 15 spaces for lounging, public events, and exhibitions. There's also gym access on the 10th floor. There's a new $10 million facility that just opened, and we're now the first tenants of the building. So fantastic gym access right there, accessible within our tower. And it's in a prime location on the LRT line and connected to the plus 15 system, to apartments, to shops and restaurants. So this is really a fantastic location for not only these reasons, but also in the way that a medical school makes sense to be located inside a hospital. It makes sense to locate a design school at the heart of a city, downtown, where all the action is happening, where the communities where we have want to have a positive impact on are located. So we're very excited to just have moved into our new home in January. So we've only been there a few weeks. So and I'm going to share a few pictures of some of those spaces. Here we have a design build project completed predominantly by students featured in Century Gardens, which will now be, it's Century Gardens if you're not familiar with Calgary or with the area. It's an amazing park. You can kind of see it here in this previous slide. There's a basketball court, plazas, it doesn't look all that attractive here with the snow, but it's actually incredible space. Here's another picture. This one's in summer that has beautiful trees and grass and lawns. It's an amazing place to have a picnic. So here's the exterior of a building, right? The atrium space here in the foreground, the towers in the background. It's really an incredible space. This here is the future kind of front entrance to Sapple and the City Lab. So that's here in the bottom floor. This here is the food court. We forgot to mention that in the slides before. But we have a food court with access to sushi, sandwiches, pizza. There's a new business coming in, plus obviously the connections to the plus 15. They have other restaurants and cafes. Oh, I forgot coffee, an Italian coffee place, um, like straight from Italy. So fantastic. This is the workshop and fabrication annex. So to the second and third floors are a workshop, and then the bottom kind of ground floor, there's a high bay, all year round design build construction space. So we have some amazing facilities and all very well connected. This is the LRT line. The stop is literally right here next to our building. So you can stop off the train and then enter our building. So super, super accessible. This is the lobby space and the entrance. And then here on the right, there's like a huge screen. And those usually feature various types of videos. And during our events, some of our some of our work. Here is a look at the graduate studio spaces, right? So as a student in Sapple, you will get your own permanent desk and desk space. So this is the graduate studio. Here's more images of what the graduate studios look like. Then here we have the BDCI studio, which sometimes also doubles as classroom spaces. So here we have Professor Jun Marie delivering a lecture on computational design. So this allows students to work at their desk, right, have their own monitor, locker, and be able to access resources and materials that they need while in class. But of course, studios are also used for design. They're used as your primary sort of workspace. And this is a permanent workspace that you have assigned to you the entire semester. So evenings, mornings, weekends, you can come here and do your work, and this is for you. This is something that we differ significantly with other units that you get your own desk, right? In other situations, it's more like a hot desk thing. Here you get your own. Here are more pictures of that open studio space. So on every floor, you be with your entire cohort on one floor, kind of wrapping around the core of the building. And again, you get your own locker, desk. You will be sitting with a desk buddy and then your own monitor. So here are more pictures of the spaces, the studio spaces. Here we have a regular classroom. This is more primarily for lecture courses or other seminars. Again, with tremendous views of the city beyond. This is our largest classroom, 110 students. Then we have a variety of classrooms located in different parts of the floor plate. So this is one of our round classrooms, one of our more popular ones for kind of circular discussions. Um, Here are other types of classrooms. Since we literally just moved in a few weeks ago, a lot of our spaces are still pending furniture. So I just wanted to make that note here that some of these spaces might look empty, and that's because they don't have their furniture yet. So just imagine this with lots of beautiful furniture and people. Here we have our social spaces. So this is the seventh floor, which has the kitchen, it has the vending machines, microwaves, coffee, various lounges. Again, this is placeholder furniture. The final furniture isn't yet finalized. So, but we just wanted to show some of that range of spaces. Here's we have other studio spaces, again, with that kind of social lounge furniture also pending. Right now, what you see is what we had in the previous building. So we're kind of just making use of it while the shipments of the new furniture arrive. This is the entrance to the workshop annex. So it's connected to the building through the plus 15, and then you come up through here, and this is the main entrance. So once you enter through this sort of glass door, this is our fabrication space. So tremendous, amazing, cutting edge fabrication space that has space for woodworking, metalworking, laser cutting. There's robot arms, there's the 3D printers are actually on the main floor. Uh, we also have a kiln for like ceramics work and wet work. We have a spray booth. We have a variety of different spaces, right? Assembly tables, right? So all these wooden tables that you see here are for students to assemble their models, right? So really tremendous, fantastic spaces. We're very excited for this new workshop. So here is a typical floor plan, right? Where you have the studio, floor plate, sort of divided into these two areas. Then you have critique spaces, which is where you will sort of put up work and have often instructors or peers or jury members sort of comment on the work. So that's part of design school. And if you're not familiar with the term or with the practice, it's something that you learn as you go through the program. Every floor will have different spaces for student lounges along the windows, right? Crit spaces, classrooms. There are faculty offices on every floor. So that means that faculty remain very accessible because they're all distributed across each one of the student floors. This is the social floor on the seventh. And again, this is the where I showed you the picture of that has kind of this temporary furniture. We also have the research labs on this floor as well. Um, and I forgot to mention every floor there are printing stations, right? There are ablution stations, gender neutral washrooms, gendered washrooms, uh, um, everything. There's a variety of really fantastic things. So Bachelor of Design and City Innovation, the BDCI, congratulations on being accepted. You have all made a really smart choice in applying for this program. And here I'm to, over the length of what remains of this presentation, I'm going to prove to you why this is the best choice for your design school experience, right? We offer a design-based framework for thinking about the world, its challenges, and how to create an inclusive and sustainable city-focused approach to the built environment. So we have hands-on studio-based learning that tackles real-world projects. We offer courses in advanced digital design tools, sustainability, entrepreneurship, computational design, and data science. And ultimately, we're oriented towards sparking innovation for the betterment of society. We all know that the world today is experiencing severe upheaval, and we want to be part of the solution. So talking about logistics, the BCI requires the completion of 120 units and normally takes 4 years of full-time study. So what are some common degree terms, right? We have the bachelor's degree, which is 120 units, and again, 4 years of full-time study. We will You will also have the opportunity to do a concentration. Concentrations are either in architecture or landscape architecture. And if you do a concentration, you get to skip the first year of the MArch or the MLA program. So if you're interested in becoming a licensed architect or becoming a licensed landscape architect, we recommend that you undertake the concentration as part of your degree so that you get to skip the first year of the master's program and it turns into a 4+2 rather than 4 and 3. You can also decide to do a minor. There are a variety of different minor options available to all students, but those are 30 units. And then within the university, you also have the opportunity to take embedded certificates. So the sustainability certificate is one of them, where there's a certain number of units, and as long as you complete them, you also get the certificate. So there's quite a variety of options for you to customize your degree in ways that are going to be most useful to you, but also that speak to your interests. So let's talk about first year courses. In the fall semester, you'll take Design 201, 211, 221, 231, and 241 or SUS 201. And in the winter semester, you'll take those exact same one, 203, 213, 223, and then 253 or NT 201, that's an entrepreneurship course. You can either take our entrepreneurship course, one that's sort of more built environment related, and this would be our recommendation if you want to do the sort of the design concentrations or do a master's in architecture, landscape, or planning. But if you want to use your BCI degree and graduate immediately upon graduation and you're not looking to do a professional design degree, then you can also decide to do perhaps an entrepreneurship certificate with Haskane, in which case you might want to take ANTI 201. Same thing with Design 263. That's a computational design course. It's more design oriented. But let's say you're really kind of looking at being a data technologist or really want to hone those technical capacities, more leaning towards computer science, then we would recommend Data 201. Now, these are some of the questions that you might want to ask in a meeting with our student advisors. They'll be able to take your questions and offer a variety of options for you to consider. And if, of course, if you have more questions, do please contact bdci@sapple.ucalgary.ca. So this is what our course of study looks like. These are our program guides. We are revolutionary within the university for being one of the only programs that has done something like this. In fact, other units have come to us to see how we've done it so they can replicate it for their students. So this is a map that shows all the courses you have to take across the 7 degree components. So we have Design Studio, Visualization, which is sort of software courses that support Studio and other courses, Global Citizenship, which is a combination of history and theory, Technical Studies, there's one for each of the disciplines, Sustainability, again, you have the options of with us or with the Faculty of Arts, Entrepreneurship, again, our course or the one in Haskane, and then computational design or data science. Now, what I'm showing here is the general pathways. If you want to do the architecture concentration, that's something that you apply for in your second year and begins in the winter term of your third year. So the courses in yellow are the ones that qualify you to skip that first foundation year. And then, of course, the landscape architecture concentration. Now, all of these are located on our website. They're called the program guides. So I would encourage you to go to the website, download them. They're hyperlinked, so you can actually click on each of these courses and they'll take you to the course catalog so you can read exactly what you'd be doing when and which are prerequisites and which ones are prerequisites to other ones, right? So in order to do 311, you must have completed 213, right? As it shows here. So if there's questions, we can get to those. So here are some student resources for you. I'll pause a few seconds on this slide, but you can take out your cell phones and look at the BDCI degree planning page or the BDCI program advising page. And if you're interested in talk to one of our advisors, this is the way to do it. So I'm going to spend maybe 10 more seconds here so you can take a snapshot of these.
Also, Alberto, I'll just interrupt and let you know too with everyone. I'm putting also some of these links inside the chat too, just in case you can't access them via the QR codes.
Perfect. Thank you, Alexa. All right. So now we get to talk about the overall Sapple BDCI experience. What makes us different? What makes us better? The first experience, like as soon as you arrive on campus, we have BDCI Launchpad. This is our own kind of sample version of our orientation. Is a scholar induction program that we have organized to help you build connections, foster community, and jumpstart your collegiate career. So we offer workshop-based programming in coordination with faculty, staff, and other BDCI students who also organize some of their own workshops about stuff they want new incoming BDC students to experience and know about. This will introduce you to SAPL and UCalgary resources. It'll give you an opportunity to meet your instructors and peers in a more informal social setting and engage with activities during class time. So part of Launchpad is mandatory because it happens during your class time, right? So it's not something you have to worry about attending outside of class time. However, we also provide opportunities, extracurricular opportunities outside of class time for you to participate in. One of those is the City Gameathon Challenge. This is a design charrette competition that we host in the very first week of class that allows you to meet your classmates, but also learn a new software and compete for prizes, books, and tech. So here's the QR code. We're filling out details now for your t-shirts and just making sure that we know who wants to participate. So I'm gonna click this. Yes. Now this is taking place at our previous building. So if the space is looking familiar, that's the reason why. The City Gameathon is sponsored by Paradox Interactive. So they give all our students a free copy of City Skylines, which is the software that we use for this design competition. You work in teams to design a city with classmates, and then at the end of the week, you do quick pictures and show your designs. We also have an entire website dedicated to this event. It has not yet been updated with this year's information, but Alexa, if you could also type in the bdci.launchpad.com website, I would encourage all of you to look at. It's also a page that has resources, links to things that you should be thinking about, plus information about the City Gameathon. So moving on to studio learning, right? As soon as the BSL Launchpad is done, you kind of dive right into studio and to your courses. Like I said, each of you will get a desk, a computer monitor, a locker, and this is a really distinctly different educational experience. It's not where you move from classroom to classroom. You have your own space that you're working on. It's sort of like a large scale open collaborative workshop. Here you get to develop and learn how to do viable design solutions where you're mentored by faculty and industry professionals, right? So it allows for informal peer-to-peer learning. It facilitates project work. It allows for collaboration with community-based clients and partner organizations. As part of our curriculum, starting in the second year, you have the option to do Transcaler studios. Um, there are three, small, medium, and large, and you can pick you have to do one of each in any order that you want. So the small scale studio might include courses such as fashion design, um, design build, right? Medium, architecture, exhibition design. Large scale, we've had ecological park design, we've had mega architecture. I'm currently running a civilizational design studio. So these are meant to be exploratory, fun ways to explore design in different ways before settling into the primary three SAPL disciplines, architecture, landscape, and planning. Um, as part of our curriculum, we also integrate all future skills modules. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Fusion Skills, they're part of a learning module that was developed by Fusion. Fusion is a kind of Canadian, like a pan-Canadian kind of initiative that aims to bolster employability within students by providing them with soft skill training that isn't usually part of university curriculums. So this is a sort of a set of mini micro credentials that take about 4 to 6 hours to complete. And they are ones that are requested by employers, right? They're ones that really enable our students to take their learning and then plus it with soft skills and other things that are really important in the workforce. So we are the first program across Canada to integrate all 12 of the existing future skills modules within our courses. So within the first 2 years of the program, 1 or 2 courses will have 1 or 2 of these modules to be completed as part of assignments. So you'll go over adaptability, AI literacy, collaboration, communication, constructive dialogue, creativity, digital literacy, inclusivity, innovation, metacognition, problem solving, self-management, and well-being. So again, these are critical for our program, and we're the first to integrate them. We provide a number of different extracurricular opportunities for all those students who are really interested to pursue a variety of different academic challenges, one of which is the City Futures Undergraduate Design Research Symposium. This is an event that is now going to be held for the third year, this upcoming, oh no, third year in the fall. And this is an opportunity for BSI students to share award-winning design research initiatives, each tackling challenges in city innovation with fresh perspectives and groundbreaking ideas. So often we invite students, projects from the undergraduate research summer studentships sort of award program, the Map the System competition, and Emerging Voices, our fellowship program within the school. So panel sessions can address topics such as public realms and public lives, design justice and pluralism, catalyzing urban revitalization, material and fabrication futures, global challenges, right, etc. This is an opportunity to engage firsthand with the future of bold transdisciplinary thinking for the built environment, right? If it has not already been made clear, one thing that defines the BDCI and sets it apart is that it's a transdisciplinary program. What does that mean? It means that it's not solely focused on just one discipline, not just architecture, not just planning, not just landscape architecture, but rather all of them, the connections between them, because that's really the critical way that we will be able to solve the issues of today, right? You can't solve the problems that we're facing with just one perspective. You have to have a multiplicity of perspectives, and the same applies to disciplines. So, speaking to transdisciplinarity and transdisciplinary research, as a student in our program, you will have access to the Undergraduate Research Summer Studentships, or URSS program. This is an opportunity for students to apply to receive up to $7,500 stipend to do 8, 12, or 16 weeks of research supervised by a faculty member. Um, Usually these are opportunities that you can begin immediately upon completion of your first year. So we've had extremely successful first year students who have applied and gotten this, and then by the second year, they're already presenting at the symposium. So the way that we scaffold the pedagogy and the education within our program really enables our students to very quickly level up and gain really employable skills that make them really attractive as interns, as workers for the city, right, working in industry. So again, here's another QR code for URSS if you'd like to learn more. We also have a variety of undergraduate awards that are available to our students, so you can submit an application through the Central My UCalgary portal. And to be clear, you only submit one application, and then you're immediately considered for all the awards that exist that you're eligible for. So you don't have to worry about submitting multiple different ones, just put one together, and immediately you'll be considered for all the ones that apply to you. So again, QR code on the left is how to apply. QR code on the right is more information. And Alexa, thank you again for sharing all these links on the chat. Map the system is another way that we have really led at the university level. So this is a prestigious competition organized by the University of Oxford. In Canada, 20 universities participate, and each university is responsible for organizing its own finals. Map the System is a transdisciplinary challenge that aims to ask competitors to pitch an understanding of a systems thinking problem. And as you might be able to guess, our students have done tremendously well. In the first year that we participated, we won first and second place. Third place was a PhD with a postdoc. Um, the first 2 years, we were 50% of the finalists. So out of all the teams in the university that participate, only 8 are selected. And our BCS students have always been significantly represented in that population. So 50% of the finalists the first 2 years, this just like last week or this week, on Tuesday of this week, for the third time that we've participated, and we won first place again. So our students are representing the University of Calgary and Canada at the Global Map to Systems competition at the University of Oxford. So they'll be traveling there to present their work. So, and this year, second place was again a PhD with a postdoc and an MSc student. So both of them together still are not as good as our first year BDCI students. And this is something that you'll participate in as part of a course in your first year of your winter semester. So we also have the CSC Ignite 2020 design competition. This is sort of an optional opportunity that we make available to all our students. This past year, we hosted it at our building, and likely we'll be organizing in our building again. So I'm just going to play this quick video to give you an experience of what this is. And again, there's a sort of a student design competition that also connects you with an internship
Evening, everyone.
opportunity.
My name's Logan Smith. I'm the CMO with Astra Group, and I'm here with my colleague Maxim.
Hey everyone, pleasure to meet you. My name is Max Himmelbreki and I'm Development Manager with Astra Group.
This is our third year as client for CSC Ignite. It's a great opportunity for students to get hands-on with the project. Late last year, November, we finished up the Petrofina conversion right next door to campus at Sapel. Project this year is multifunctional food hall style place in the flagship retail unit on the main floor of the Petrofina building. It's approximately 7,000 square feet. The design and function of the space should coincide with the character-defining elements of the building and the overall brand. First place prize is set to be $3,000. We're going to add an additional $1,500. So now the winning team will be $4,500. Good luck, everyone, this weekend.
So here, students got to work on a real project in a real site next to our own very own building.
If you're
And the
ready,
designs are now
follow me.
going to be used to inform development of that new lounge space.
The Petrofina building was built in 1959. It's actually one of the first towers in Calgary. We did brand the building to speak to that history.
All right, this video is a bit long, so I'm not going to show all of it. But this shows the kind of overall student experience, right? And then the award ceremony that happened a few weeks ago. Of course, our BDC students did really well. And there's also an opportunity to meet other design students within Calgary. So usually SAIT, Vaughan Valley, and MRU also participate in this competition. We also have study abroad experiences. So you recently, the university has rebranded this to call it Global Classroom, but this is basically study abroad, right? And one of our options is Mexico, Myths, Metropoles, and the Magical, although every year the options will vary depending on the like instructor lead. But at least for the one that was planned for Mexico, this was looking at sort of rich layered cultural and ecological landscapes where students get to go beyond traditional boundaries, blending architecture, urban design, ecology, and indigenous knowledge. So the program for this one is to explore ancient cities, modern metropolises, and magical natural sites, right? Where you get to sketch archaeological ruins, reflect through journaling, or analyze urban systems to be able to design thoughtfully with a future-facing mindset. These are Emerging Voices, our undergraduate design research writing fellowship. So again, you learn to develop a research project and a writing piece that then would be submitted to a journal, paper, or a conference article, or published. And again, we try to provide lots of many different opportunities for development for academics or leveling up. If you would like to see additional student resources for support, right? Um, here's the QR code for that. I'm gonna keep going because I'm running a little bit late. Now, really important, ready for September, right? This is our event that we host in July, and this enables us to give you the sort of last bit of logistical information that you need in order to be prepared to start your career in the fall. So don't miss it. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And Mountain Time, Monday, July 20th. So again, here's the QR code for that. And you learn about the transition to university, student resources, and what you need to be prepared to start classes. So now we get to the fun part, the student experience. So Sophia, welcome and thank you for joining us today to share your experience in the BACI. Could you share with our audience what does a typical day look like for you? How is studio-based learning different than lecture-style learning? And what advice do you give new BSA students as they begin their academic journey?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here and to answer all of your questions. My typical day for me, I tend to get to the studio at least half an hour early. Like this is a difference compared to last semester. I was always running last minute. It was always very stressful. So I recommend getting to the studio like as early as possible before classes so that you could just like settle in, prepare, and it's like an easier start to the day. And then I finish class around like 12:15 and I'll have like a 3 hour break between my next class. And that's normally when I get most of my work done. That's when I really like locked in getting all everything that I need to be done. And then after 5, I commute back to main campus, like where I live in residence. And I'll like take a break for a good few hours and then I'll do touch up on any last work that I need to do in the evening and try to like go to bed at a reasonable time. Um, so how studio-based learning is different than lecture style learning, I would say, like as Alberto mentioned, it is very much like a collaborative workshop. Like you have one-on-one discussions with your like studio instructor, and it's really more so like a conversation rather than you being talked at for like the entire class, which I really appreciate. You get like really strong feedback to help you iterate your design ideas, and like iteration is crucial to design and with like every single studio class you are progressing in your design and like evolving ideas. For advice, I would give, I'm gonna say like find like have conversations with like your other peers to like help like find ideas, get inspiration from your classmates and like take what they've done like and you can apply it to like your own learning. Like definitely like have conversations with your classmates, make connections with your classmates and your professors. Also, I would say utilize guest reviewers, guest lecturers, because they can help you make really strong connections like after you graduate and even before. So like definitely start that in your first year. I would say that is very critical in making connections with everyone that like comes in, guest lecturers, guest reviewers. That's all I have. Of
Thank you for sharing.
course.
And then, oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So I was on the wrong, so I was on the Iram slide, and I think I called you Sophia, right? So now Iram.
Hello, everyone. My name is Iram, and I'm also in my first year. I would say our typical day usually consists of a lecture class in the morning, and it really sets the tone for the rest of your day because we have extremely long breaks. And since we're located in downtown, sometimes people go to get food. We have a lot of good food spots near us. And there's also the mall, so there's definitely that opportunity as well. But I would say we get a lot of weekly assignments in our first year, and we have weekly notes to submit in the first semester for DSG 213 as well. So utilizing the break time between classes and studio is very crucial if you want to be able to stay on track with your work, but it's also a great time to be able to socialize with your peers. And as for studio-based learning versus lecture-style learning, I would say that studio plays a huge role in the program itself because obviously it's where you're actually creating, and that's where all of the magic actually happens. And as Sophia said, iteration is very important. So please don't get frustrated with your instructor. I know it's very annoying to be having to change your initial design multiple times, but genuinely that's how you reach the best possible design. And for lecture style learning, it's very convenient having both. It's kind of like a refresher when you're overstimulated from one, at least you have the other to work on. And it's very transdisciplinary as well, our lectures. In DSGN 213 specifically, you're going to be exposed to a lot of guest lectures and a lot of different topics. And honestly, I really wanted to be an architect before coming into BDCI, but after experiencing that class, I've been considering a bunch of other career opportunities, such as planning and landscape architecture. And in terms of advice, I would say that studio plays a huge role in shaping your overall experience because each instructor has their own unique style and design experiences. So their teaching style genuinely reflects that. And during pinups and studio desk crits, it's vital that you guys ask all of your questions, try to get as much feedback as possible because instructors have lives. And usually after hours, it's a bit rough trying to text some of them on Teams, but most of them are they're quite lenient and they reply back quickly. But it really depends on the instructor, as I said. And the people you meet within this degree are very important because making connections, it really helps you build up the confidence. Like I was slightly more reserved in the beginning of the year, but now it's like we're all struggling together. We're working towards our final project of the semester and we're pulling all-nighters together. Not all the time though, but we've been staying late at the studio quite often. And I will admit sometimes group work is tough because not all of your group mates will have the same expectations as yourself, and you don't have much of a choice except to work with them. But my advice for those types of situations would be focus on your own work because at the end of the day, it's going on your portfolio. So just focus on that aspect of the project. And in terms of the best part of the program, it's genuinely the people. And honestly, when you have the opportunity to, as Sophia said, like build those connections because you never know who's going to be able to offer you a job or even a design opportunity in the future. And also everyone is very helpful. You can ask anyone a question and they'd be more than willing to help you as well. And for me personally, I'd say my skills from the beginning of the year compared to now have excelled tremendously in terms of technical software such as Photoshop and Illustrator, which you guys will all be learning, and especially 3D modeling as well. And this program is so amazing in the sense that it really reframes your thinking because obviously it's very transdisciplinary and it helps you understand the systems thinking approach that should be applied to design problems in the real world and you really start to understand how society functions.
Irem, thank you so much for that perspective, Sophia and Irem. Again, thank you again for sharing those perspectives. And for any students who still have some questions, you can start typing some of those in the chat and we'll get to them in just a second. So now I have to show you this video. I apologize in advance. The animation of it is more, I think, in line with what I would expect a kindergartner to be interested in. But this is what the university marketing team has put together. And um, this is, I think, enters you into a draw for a scholarship or something, Alexa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it
Some,
explains the Rex challenge. So let's watch
okay.
it, and then the next slide we can describe what the Rex challenge is.
All right.
I'm Rex, the UCalgary mascot and #1 Dinos fan. This incoming class is looking Dynamite. Cheering for dinos is my thing. Without you, I would be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Jurassic times call for Jurassic measures, so I've got a roarsome challenge just for you. Keep an eye on your inbox. I'll post details shortly. This challenge will be online, not in the field, so you will not have to worry about getting dinosaur. Complete my challenge, and you will be entered to win the U at UCalgary Rex's Challenge Award, an exclusive prize with UCalgary swag. Be sure to watch your email for more instructions after the event. Go Dinos!
So, is that this part, Alexa, that talks about
Yes.
the challenge? Okay. Do you want to speak
So
to this slide?
yes, no problem. So please, this is the most important thing that you'll do from attending this session today. So please scan this QR code, or I just put the link into the chat. You have to fill this form out. It registers you and demonstrates that you have attended the session. And this is very important for early course enrollment and also for being entered to qualify for and oh, I'll figure that out about the link, but I'll make sure you have it in the chat. But it also is in that QR code. So please scan the QR code. But so what it does is you scan the QR code, you fill out the form. It'll provide you with an email. It'll have early course enrollment, and also it's tied to an award. So then you will be entered to win an award as well. And yeah, you'll have about I think it's a 24-hour period to watch a bunch of videos, fill out a kind of quick, easy, friendly quiz, and then you're entered. So please make sure that you have scanned the QR code. You can also, I'm going to pop my email into the chat as well. You can email me if that code just doesn't work or the link doesn't work, and I'll make sure that you get it, okay?
Thank you so much, Alexa. And I think we're almost at the end. So again, congratulations on being part of the Bachelor of Design and City Innovation. You are joining a community of students who are changing the world, making a healthier, more vibrant, sustainable, and equitable place. So we are here to help you along the way. And of course, please email or drop by if you have questions or need support. So you can contact us at undergraduate@sapple.ucalgary.ca or bdci@sapple.ucalgary.ca. So I think now we're going to proceed to questions.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much. We have a few questions that have come in. The first one says, when and how do we register for classes? When is that's the first one. So maybe Sarah, do you want to answer about registration for classes, please?
Yeah, for sure. So you will get information about when to register. So that would be called your enrollment start time. And so I highly recommend if you haven't set up your UCalgary account yet, please make sure you set it up because students who already accepted their offers have started to receive newsletters, usually on a monthly basis. And so those monthly newsletters talk about how to get your UCalgary set up for other things, where to start looking for registration, other events that are coming up. And on our side, we actually had a registration webinar already back in March, and that's been recorded and also on our BDCI degree planning website. And that is also shared in the newsletters most likely as you're seeing them. So I would